Check it out, Casper!
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in, Casper here, and welcome back to TF2 Best Loadouts, the series where we are looking at the best loadout for each of the 9 classes in Team Fortress 2, in, of course, my opinion. However, with nearly 4,000 in-game hours and a wealth of experience across all the classes, you can rest assured that that opinion is at least a slightly informed one. Today's episode is looking at the best TF2 loadout for everybody's favourite patriotic simpleton, the Soldier.
Now that is what I want to see!
Soldier's a class like very few others in the game in so much as he can fulfill a wide range of roles, such as an aggressive frontline player, a defensive pocket to the team's medic, or even playing completely away from the main action as a flanker. Of course, each of these situations will probably suit at least a slightly different loadout, but for the sake of this video I'll be choosing a good all-around loadout, one which will help you achieve the upper hand in as many situations as possible, regardless of your playstyle. And towards the end of the video I will give a quick overview of a few alternate loadouts that you can use for other specific situations or playstyles. Starting off, for the primary slot, we've got the stock rocket launcher. Now just like the scattergun in my scout loadout video, the default rocket launcher has a very good all-around balance of damage, projectile speed, blast radius, and perhaps most importantly compared to its alternatives, a good clip size. The Liberty Launcher and Airstrike have reduced damage. The Airstrike's also got reduced explosion radius. The Cow Mangler is too situational to be a solid all-round choice, and the direct hit lacks the all-important splash damage potential. As a soldier, you can afford to not hit opponents directly. Splash damage is an incredibly powerful part of the soldier's arsenal. It can allow you to hit multiple opponents or buildings at once, and it also allows you to simply land rockets near the enemy while still enabling high damage. And it can even be used to kill opponents or buildings which you can't even see, meaning that you can potentially destroy sentry guns whilst outside of their line of sight. So whilst the direct hit, for example, may have a lot higher damage potential, what we do have in this particular loadout is the best weapon for the most situations. The secondary slot, we've got the Gunboats. Now the secondary weapon isn't actually a weapon at all, and it is in fact one of the very few purely passive items in the entire game, and it exists for pretty much one purpose: rocket jumping. Now many of you guys might be thinking to yourselves, well, I can't rocket jump, so that's why I don't use the Gunboats. And to you I say, God damn it, soldier, it's about time you learned to rocket jump. Rocket jumping is an essential skill for anyone who wants to be a successful soldier. There are so many advantages to good jumping, be that the fact that it opens up a massive array of flank potential, giving you an avenue to easily escape from unfavorable fights, the fact that chained rocket jumps can get you across entire maps in insanely small amounts of time, or just the simple fact that being in the air above someone makes you an exponentially harder target to aim at. If you're a complete beginner to rocket jumping, then the best place to start is on jump maps. Community-created assault courses, created to hone your rocket jumping acrobatic abilities. If anyone would like me to cover the basics of rocket jumping in another video, please do let me know. The skills that you learn in these jump maps, such as optimizing your height and distance, learning to chain together jumps, jumping off walls, speed shots, skips, and so much more, can all be applied in real game situations for any of the aforementioned uses. So that is why we want to rocket jump, and that is why the Gunboats are so useful. Although they don't completely remove self-damage, they remove so much that any single rocket jump becomes pretty much negligible, and given the amount of rocket jumping you will want to be doing once you've mastered the skill and you appreciate all its uses, then ensuring that you take as little amount of self-damage as possible becomes extremely important. For the melee slot, I'm choosing the escape plan. Soldier is a long-range class, and given that we have no shotgun in this particular loadout, we're going to want to try and avoid any close-range engagements, so we're going to want a melee with some sort of utility value. Fortunately for us, we have a lot to choose from. The disciplinary action is great for giving yourself and a teammate a speed boost. The pain train gives you 2 times capture rate, but my personal preference is the speed boost offered by the escape plan. Unlike the disciplinary action, you do not require a teammate to harness the speed boost, and furthermore, the speed boost actually increases the lower the health you are on. The negative attribute of this weapon is of course that you take extra damage while it's out. However, given that the main reason that we're going to withdraw this weapon is because we're in a crisis situation and trying to run away, then we're probably going to be close to death anyway, so the extra damage you take is unlikely to actually make the difference between life and death. And whilst a similar argument could be made for the usefulness of the equalizer, I personally believe you're much better off trying to escape an unfavourable situation than you are trying to fight your way out. Although, both of them do allow you to do this with a lumbricus lid. So we've just discussed what's a solid loadout for general play, and you can use this loadout to play aggressively on the front lines or on the flanks, and it also works well if you're playing the objective alongside your teammates. But what if you're playing solo and you want to maximize your lifespan? Well, take a look at the survivalist loadout, the black box, the conqueror, and a melee of your choice. Probably also good with the escape plan. This loadout revolves heavily around gaining back any health you lose. You won't be as an effective killing machine as you might be with other loadouts, however, you are much less likely to die. Next, we've got the pocket soldier. Stock rocket launcher, a shotgun, and I would personally say the pain train or disciplinary action, depending on how much objective capturing you can see yourself doing. Being a pocket soldier refers to buddying up with a medic who focuses most of their healing on you. Similarly, you stick with the medic and protect them. As long as you're sticking with your medic, you won't be jumping around very often, so we won't need the gunboats. Therefore, a nice offensive weapon which can be used in close and medium range exchanges is extremely useful. And last up, we've got the famous Trollder loadout. The rocket jumper, man treads, and the market gardener. 3 items that all play off each other's benefits. With 0 self-damage for jumping, you can be in the air pretty much constantly, and you can try and land on people's heads, or even better, land those airborne melee strikes. This honestly isn't a loadout you should expect to go on a godlike kill streak every time you use it, or even be remotely effective in a competitive format. However, we play video games for fun, and that's something that you're sure to have with this loadout. To briefly recap on our main loadout for tonight, we've got the stock rocket launcher because it's an extremely versatile option with a good balance of all the rocket launcher's attributes. We team this up with the gunboats, which gives us access to a number of options and playstyles, allowing you to flank or get into mid-fights early, and even opening up escape options when a fight looks unwinnable. And for those situations, we've also got the escape plan, mainly used for, as the name suggests, escaping from situations which look bleak anyway. The extra speed gives us that little extra chance to survive. This is of course what I would personally recommend based on my own experience in the game, but if you look at this loadout, or any of the 3 other options I went over, I'm sure you're going to find something which will work well for you. You can check out some other episodes in this series, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.